What's going on, boys? It's Keg and Coop. We're back for another NASCAR Cup Race. This week, it's all about the dirt, baby. We're in Bristol. They turned it into a dirt track. I don't know how I feel about it right now, but it is what it is. So what's going on, Coop?
Tell us the truth, man. You know how you feel, and that's not very good, man. You're not happy.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it.
So, no, I mean, like you were saying before, from a viewing aspect, this is going to be a great weekend because it's not something we see all that often or very much at all. But from a betting perspective, it's tough because there's so many wild cards that are out there. We don't know about the track and how it's going to hold up. You've got the weather in play now with rain, in the forecast both of the days. You've got going back to the track again. It seems to be pretty abrasive. So are the cars going to be able to hold up, over these 250 laps? And then, the other piece is, the tires. Yesterday they were complaining quite a bit about the tires and the wear that was on the tires. And,
They were chunking up.
Yeah, NASCAR has already gone on and changed the format of the race. I'm not sure if you know or not. But the first stage is 100 laps now. The second stage is 100 laps. And the final stage is 50 laps. And there's going to be a competition caution on lap 50 and on lap 150. So the longest that they can run is 50 laps. And obviously, they're not going to run full speed during each one of those laps because of all the cautions. But, the tires were, beaten up quite a bit yesterday. So they've kind of taken that out of the equation, hopefully, as far as people getting, burnt tires and busting them and popping them and so on and so forth. So we'll see.
50 laps. 50 laps for the final stage at Bristol that's a short run. So I guess it'll be interesting to see how good these cars are in the short run, considering there's going to be a guaranteed caution at least with 50 laps to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, these additional cautions play more favoritism to the people that aren't as good on dirt or experienced on dirt as the ones that are experienced on dirt. Because, if you watch the practices yesterday, the track changes enormously. Like we talk about track changing on asphalt at regular races from the sun and the clouds and temperatures. But this track, it can change from how it's running from every 15 laps based upon, where the dirt's being thrown up and, how it is and so on and so forth. And just, so our viewers know, you're going to see some black on the track. That's not the asphalt.
I was just going to say that to you. I have never seen clay so dense in a dirt race that they're actually laying down hot rubber on the track.
Yeah. Just as you said, that is track. That is rubber. That's not the asphalt. So don't be confused by that if you're new to this. So yes, it is quite rare to see that. So, but I mean, we're gonna go with what we have, and I like the experience. I'm still leaning with experience this week. I think a lot of people are going to jump all over qualifying times, practice times, because it's something that we haven't seen in over a year. And, it's out there now, and they're all fascinated by it, and so on and so forth. And for me, I'm not necessarily paying attention to who's fast. I'm paying attention to who's slow. Because those are the people I want to ignore. The fast, could change here and there. It's just like at Talladega when you're qualifying. If you're in the right line, you have the right pack, you can put down a great lap no matter who you are. And this is kind of the same way. If you hit that right groove throughout, your 5, 10, 15 lap run, you can be very good and have a fast time. But those next 5, 10, 15 laps for you could be completely opposite because the track's not set up the way it was before for you and you don't like it as much. So I'm not putting a lot into the times as far as who was fast and so on and so forth. So,
All right. So I was just going to say, quick recap of the weekend. Last weekend, obviously, we hit all 3 plays that we gave out on the show for Atlanta. And again, another race where mine and yours guy, to win the whole damn thing before the year started, dominated the race again. Kyle Larson is a monster right now. That car is a monster. Now, I think how many times have you seen a driver dominate a race and not win, right? We were lucky enough to get on. Right, exactly. So we were lucky enough to get on Ryan Blaney to get the live win. But, Kyle Larson should have won that race. But what were your takeaways from last weekend? We got the sweep.
Well, my biggest takeaway still is Stewart Haas Racing. And, can they, overcome the issues? Because once again, they were not fast at all. So that was my number 1 takeaway. And then my number 2 takeaway is, how long can we ride Hendrick Motorsports? Because they have been very, very good. We hit it from the beginning of the year. We jumped on it. We've ridden it. But, it's not going to continue. At some point, we've got to jump off because they're going to go through, a little rut here and there. It happens to all teams, drivers throughout the year.
I'm still riding Kyle Larson to the championship, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Like I said, Hendrick will come back. They'll go through a little rut and they'll come back. It's just impossible to maintain what they're doing for the entire year. But, that's why I said, we got to find that right time to jump off, and then we'll jump back on them when the time's right again.
I think that you nailed it. The 2 biggest takeaways for me was deja vu. Larson's the best car on the track week in and week out. And the second biggest takeaway was it's really alarming when Kevin Harvick isn't even in the conversation at a track like Atlanta that he absolutely dominates, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what's going on with that team. I don't know if you're right and he hit the Jimmy Johnson wall. I don't know. You might be right, but he is lost right now.
Yeah, we talked about it before, where they've changed some of the inspection rules, and it doesn't seem to be as favorable to Stewart Haas, and they haven't been able to jump back on and find the edge where other teams have too. But I mean, look, I know we're hot and heavy on Kyle Larson, but again, if it wasn't for Kyle Larson and how hot he's been, William Byron would be getting a lot more talk to. He had another great finish last week, another solid top 10. His car is just as fast as Larson's in some instances. It's probably a shade behind him overall. But, he has grown leaps and bounds from last year to this year, and the new crew chief that he has are meshing very well.
And you know what? Even to keep it with Hendrick, even Alex Bowman got a top 3 finish last week. He's starting to get going.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, Alex Bowman wasn't bad, in the races prior to that. He just had some bad luck, So, all 4 of them cars have been great. Like I said, Elliott's had some bad luck. Bowman's had some bad luck. Byron and Larson have, capitalized on running well and, having, I don't want to say good luck, but they hadn't had any bad luck.
All right, taking it into this week, I'm just annoyed because the heater that we're on, and this is gonna fuck it all up. I got a feeling. But
You're
all
not
right,
gonna mess it up, man. We're all right.
so
We're all good.
let's talk about tonight first. Are you betting the truck race? Taking a look at these odds right now, they have Kyle Larson, the odds-on favorite, at plus 250. Top three minus 140. Chase Briscoe and Stuart Friesen, to be fair, are probably the two other best dirt track drivers that are in the race tonight, and they're second and third choice. Chase Briscoe 6-1. Stuart is 6.5-1. What do you think about tonight's race? You betting anything?
Nothing as far as picking a winner prior race, but I do have two bets head to head that I jumped in on that I feel are very advantageous, and they're mispriced.
What do you like?
In my opinion, the first one is Martin Truex is a minus 143 against Ryan Newman at plus 108. All right.
Where? At what book?
This was on DK. I got it in on yesterday.
I'm on DK and oh, okay, yeah, you're right. My bad. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Martin Truex, has little to no dirt experience. He's been positive about this particular race, but he's tempered his expectations and he's being realistic about his expectations. I can't imagine, him having little experience on dirt, having little experience in a truck, being a 143 favorite to, a Ryan Newman who has dirt experience and who is a solid driver week in, week out.
No, Coop, you got the odds mixed up, buddy. Ryan Newman is the minus 139 favorite, and Truex is plus 105.
All right, well, hold on. I think, let's see here. Give me 1 minute. And log into DraftKings.
Yeah, I got to take your time.
All right, so this goes to show what I put in Discord yesterday, okay? I jumped on this early because I had a feeling that odds were going to change drastically because of practices and, the heat races today. All right. So right now what you're saying is that Martin Truex is the plus number and Ryan Newman is the negative number?
Yeah, Truex plus 105, Newman's like minus 140.
All right. I when I bet this yesterday, I got Ryan Newman at plus 108 against Martin Truex.
Really?
Yep.
Let me check the other books.
So, going back to talking about this, like Newman was fast yesterday. The only thing I can think of is, Truex is in the Busch car that has been dominant all year, or truck, excuse me. So he's getting that plus his name. And Newman, this is a brand new team. So that could have hurt people. But, I'm really elated now if that's the case, because like I said, I know you can go back and look in Discord because I put it in there, but Truex was a minus 143 versus plus 108 for Ryan Newman. And that's what I got it at.
Well, yeah. Well, that's not bettable now, but that was a good bet. What was the other bet that you liked?
Well, the one thing that might hurt me about this, and this goes with my, I understand where the breakdown is on bets and how to break them down, but I got pretty excited about this, and I went ahead and bet it. So now the only concern for me is if we have rain and they don't have these heat races, Ryan Newman will not make the race. I'm sure at that point, they would just cancel the bet, and I get my money back. But, that's my one concern, with that. The other bet that I made was Kevin Harvick was a minus 108 to Grant Enfinger, who is minus 121. We've been picking on Joey Logano a lot. I want to pick on Kevin Harvick this week. He has little to no dirt track experience. He has little to no truck experience. He has not been positive about this race whatsoever. I don't see any way that he finishes in the top 10, top 15. I'll be quite honest with you in this truck race.
Well, the odds have changed a little bit. Would you tell people to bet that at minus 130? Because that's the price right now.
Yeah, I would bet it at minus 130. Actually, I put it in that little note in that Discord that I thought that Enfinger should be minus 140 to minus 160. If you look, it's like at Grant Enfinger. He's finished second, third, and fourth in 3 Eldora truck races, which is on dirt. So he has the experience. He knows how to handle the truck. He knows how to wheel it around. And this is really about betting against Kevin Harvick too. His name. That should have been much farther apart than what it was. But yeah, I would go up to probably 130, 135. I don't know if I want to go minus 140, 150, but I think that's how big of a favorite he really should be against Kevin Harvick, because I have little to no expectations for Kevin Harvick to do good in either race this weekend. And just to show people, where Kevin Harvick stands, I know this is Cup, and it's a Cup reference, but you can cross it to trucks too. I saw a tweet yesterday where Kyle Larson, his 20-lap average speed was faster than 8 drivers. All right, fastest speed. One of those drivers happened to be Kevin Harvick. So, the only way I lose this bet is if Enfinger has issues. And he has them before Harvick has them. So, I feel very, very confident about that.
Is Chris Bell in the truck race tonight?
He's on standby. John Hunter Nemechek is on baby watch, or his wife's on baby watch. But he'll take the ride over for him if he has to get out.
Well, I have to see exactly how qualifying shakes out before the race tonight, but I don't mind Chase Briscoe to find the top 3 at plus 170. I don't mind that bet.
I don't mind it at all. My only concern with them being Stuart Haas is, the speed. But the one thing that I do like about Stuart Haas, and this is the wild card in general for me, is who's setting up these cars for these Cup teams. All right. Is it the people who do this every week, who are normally setting up the asphalt cars? Or have they brought in people to help?
Yeah,
all right.
That's great.
And regardless of whether they have or not, I can guarantee you that Tony Stewart is very involved with the setup of Stuart Haas. And Tony Stewart is a damn good dirt track racer.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me kind of want to like Chase Briscoe even more. And it makes me want to think that Chase Briscoe can overcome, the speed issues that they've had. Much more so than his teammates, who have little to no dirt experience at all. So I like Chase Briscoe. When we get to the Cup, he's going to be one of my favorite bets too.
Yeah. The only, now that we're talking about basically the bets that we're going to make, the only 2 bets that I took a chance on pre-race, and only for a half unit each, were top car by manufacturer. I took a shot on Chris Bell at plus 150 to be the top Toyota. And I took a shot on Briscoe at plus 285 to be the top Ford. Now he's down to plus 240. That number is basically gone. But those were really the only. Now Bella's plus 155. That's an even better price.
Yeah.
But those were the only two bets that I even felt remotely comfortable taking a shot on. I think the majority of what I bet is just going to be live, like normal.
Yeah. That's a great call on Briscoe. He was going to be the one, that I referenced a couple minutes ago, bet for me. I really like Chase Briscoe top 4 because if you look at who he's competing against Ryan Blaney, who has little to no dirt experience. He's basically relying on his dad's genes when it comes to dirt track racing. Kevin Harvick, which I already told you, I want to pick on. Joey Logano, who I don't mind Joey Logano. He's taking this race very seriously. He has no dirt track experience, but all his dirt track experience here recently, which shows me he is, really wanting to do well. And, he has done pretty well in the couple dirt tracks that he's done so far. And then Keselowski. Keselowski's horrible on the dirt. If he doesn't beat those 3, I'm not worried about the other ones below. But I think, his chances of beating his top competition by manufacturer is much better than, let's say, a Kyle Larson who has to compete against, a Tyler Reddick who's pretty solid. He has to compete against, William Byron, who, he's been good. He doesn't have a lot of dirt experience whatsoever, but anything that William Byron touches, he's been really good at. There's a couple other Chevys that are pretty close up there too. I'm thinking the Friesen might be a Chevy too. But I just like the difference that Briscoe provided with his competition versus the other Chevy and Toyota. So I love the Briscoe call.
Shout out to the boys in the chat. Our guy Joey Works in there, and Varun deep throating Coop right now. Loves Coop.
No.
Yeah, you know what though? I'll tell you what. I don't mind it. I'd rather him be all over you, bro.
Yeah, he loves you. I do have one other bet that I'm looking at for tomorrow, and I think it's Group D. It's the one that has Alex Bowman in it. I think it's Bowman, Blaney. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick so I get it right. Yeah, it's Bowman, Harvick, Logano, and Kurt Busch. They're all 250 plus, and I've already spoken about Harvick. Logano, I just spoke about him. I don't think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be better than Harvick. Kurt Busch is in the same boat as Harvick. He's not happy about this race, not excited about it. And then we have Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman was a very, very good dirt racer in his younger days, and then had a serious accident that kept him away from it. He stayed involved with dirt racing, excuse me. He owns teams, so he's very excited about it. And then you mentioned earlier in the show, he went out yesterday and put down some great speed and great laps. So
I couldn't find
a lot of confidence in that.
I couldn't find him in any matchup though. I was trying to look for an Alex Bowman matchup, and last night I couldn't find any.
He's not on there no more?
No, not that I see.
See, I guess this just goes back to the further point of what I was talking about earlier, man. With this, they only have 3 matchups on DK right now, so which is crazy. But it was on there. I betted it, so I put it in there. But it goes back. People are like, Austin Dillon yesterday prior to the practices was plus 1,100 favorite. He didn't practice well at all. He's now 2,500 favorite.
Do you think that Chevy should be this big of a favorite? They're minus 118 as winning manufacturer. That seems a little excessive.
Yeah, I don't think it's excessive. I think it goes back to what we were just talking about with betting the top manufacturer replacement. I just think they have more depth. They have more possibilities of winning when you look at it on paper. You know, for Ford, it's really Briscoe. For Toyota, it's really
Bell.
you know, Bell. So, I mean, sure, you can look at Denny Hamlin, you can look at you know, Kyle Busch. Could they win? Most definitely. Of course, fall in the right place. But you know, if you look at the top tier, like I said, I think there's a big difference between Ford and the rest, meaning Briscoe, and I think Chevy has that more top tier stack, so to say. You know, I look at it like this because usually on a typical asphalt week, Toyota is the team that is bedded down the most. You know, has the best or worst odds, however you want to look at it, as far as who can win.
At Bristol? Yeah.
No, just on a week to week basis. Because I mean, any week Kyle Busch, Truex, and Hamlin can win. You know.
Yeah, but I think even specifically at Bristol, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin are monsters on this track.
Oh yeah, Kyle Busch is a monster. You know,
Yeah.
big time. I mean, even last year when he struggled, he did really well at Bristol. So he was probably very disappointed, you know, from that aspect to see this become dirt, because it was probably, you know, his best chance to win. You know, minus the fall race, which will still be on asphalt. So, but,
All right, boys.
we'll
So we're gonna leave it there now. For subscribers, anything that Coop or I pull the trigger on in the truck race tonight live, check the live bets in the Discord. They'll be there. Obviously, we'll be live tomorrow 45 minutes before the race like normal. 100 units in the last 5 weeks. We'll try to keep it rolling on this weird weekend. And in terms of pre-race action, Coop and I are basically in agreement and on the same plays. Bell top Toyota at plus 155. Briscoe top Ford at plus, it's somewhere around plus 250 now, which I think is still good enough. And aside from that, I guess we'll leave it there. I'm gonna pop on and do the UFC video right after this, and then at 5:30 we'll be on all night for subscribers. People will be in and out. Coop's gonna come hang out, possibly Steve, Tyler later on, maybe Joey. So it should be a fun night. Ton of action. Got the tournament going. So aside from that, we will see you guys tomorrow. For Coop, for myself, we're out.